Hey folks, let's take a look at the knockout that Francis Ngannou inflicted upon Stipe Miocic at UFC 260. Stipe Miocic versus Francis Ngannou 2, the rematch. So it was a great fight. I was sad to see the way it ended for Stipe because he's a great fighter, great champion, and it's not a great way to come to the end of your career. I think we can assume that Stipe is getting closer to that. But mad respect for Francis, made a lot of progress since their last fight. So let's look at the knockout. So what's going to happen here? Francis is going to launch that right hand. And it doesn't really land perfectly. It's just outside his reach here. So he's going to step in. And you can see that Stipe has not a bad reaction. He starts raising his guard, so it's not a bad reaction. But you can see, and I'll see if I can time it. So this is just at the end of the strike. So you can see that the elbow here of Francis is pretty much locked out. So he's at the end of his reach. He's actually leaning forward, and that'll be important in a second. So he cannot get much more range in that strike here. And it just comes shy of landing. However, it sets up that left hand. Now, he's using a shifting step. He's going to step forward with his right leg and then throw that left hand. And the key about that is that, don't forget, guys, these are heavyweights. They're big, strong, heavy guys. So as soon as Francis starts launching his body forward, the inertia is going to be huge. His whole body mass is moving, and then he's going to strike with that left hand as he steps forward. So there's a lot of momentum behind that strike. I've read some comments that people said, yeah, it's just the left hand. No, guys, this is a shifting step. So he is going to step forward with his back foot and rotate his full body into that strike. So there's a lot of power there. So you can see here the left hand is going to come forward, and you see he's turning his left shoulder forward. And the interesting part, and that's what makes it such a devastating blow, is that it's going to cut across Stipe's jaw. So when it lands, Stipe is looking straight forward, and there's a slight angle. I'll draw that again. There's a slight angle to that left hand from Francis. And we'll see here, this is where it lands, dents in his face, and you see the rotation here happening. That's the angle. So you see the rotation of the chin, and that is what causes your brain to malfunction and you get knocked down or knocked out, as is the case here. So the main issue that I saw in the fight, especially in the first round as well, Stipe has a tendency to leave his head in place. And when you get a guy who then, who hits hard like Francis does and has picked up some decent boxing skills, I mean, we can say that it's gotten better now. You get to the point where you leave your head in position like that, not really moving it around a lot, and then you try to just, make sure that you get out of the way in time. If that fails and that punch lands, you're going down, and that's what happened here. So Stipe almost falls down. The man can take a punch. I mean, we can certainly say that. A lot of heart, tries to get back up again, and Francis is going to swarm a little bit, throw some punches here. Nothing serious that lands, but it accumulates. So there's some more damage happening. And then for my taste, and I'll pause it here, if at this point here, instead of throwing that left hand, he would have thrown an elbow. It would have been a really tight elbow that would have landed devastatingly hard on Stipe and might have knocked him out then and there already. So if you're practicing, that might be something you want to try and see if that works for you. And then we're going to have the right hand coming up in a moment, and I'll see if I can time it. So it kind of lifts. This is how it lands. So you can see that here he's got his palm up, and it looks like it lands almost just with the inside of the thumb. I looked at it from a different angle. It was hard to see, but that's not a clean uppercut. Doesn't look like it. Maybe if I can find even a better camera angle, I could see it clearer, but it's hard to see. But what it does do is it snaps Stipe's head back up again. So again, the head is moving rapidly, and that scrambles your brain again. Once more, Stipe is a warrior. He just doesn't want to go down, but he tries to break away. Now here it gets interesting. You guys remember his fight against Fabricio Verdum, where he won the title? Same situation. Verdum was running at him, kind of like Francis does here, and then Stipe ran back, and then he's going to plant his foot. He's going to plant his back foot and then throw a quick right hand here. And then again, these are heavyweights. You've got the whole body of Francis that is coming forward. And then there's a right hand that is going to meet him. So that's a head-on collision. And those are really devastating blows to take at the heavyweight class. Now with Verdum took that punch and went down. And let's see what happens. So Francis this time narrowly misses with that left hand. He just comes shy of landing. He's kind of out of position here. Look at this here. He's got his head leaning forward. He's got his torso all the way forward. That right hand is all the way back and the left hand is all the way across. So Stipe has a perfect shot here. And this is after taking these huge shots from Francis. He has the focus to still throw and time that right hand. See, he's going to plant on that back foot and then try to land that right hand. And it lands. It's a good blow. It's a little bit high maybe. Should have been a little bit lower on the chin, but it lands nevertheless. And you can see what the impact is and nothing really happens. You see Francis staggers back a little bit. He resets. But he's not really dazed or knocked out. You can see he raises his guard again, comes back into a solid stance. And Stipe, here in my opinion, makes the mistake of rushing in. And look at how he rushes in. Look at his hands. See what happens. So we're going to go slow, bit by bit. Stipe looks to see what happens. He knows that the right hand landed. He knows what happened to Verdum. So he wants to turn the tables here and come on in. Look at those hands. Low. Once more. Low, wide open. Once more. Still low, wide open. Rushing in. And at this stage, I want you to focus on the left hand of Francis. At this stage, he steps in with the left hand and he misses. And this is all she wrote. So you got the big left hook here that is placed by Francis. And that one lands well. And you know, some nifty footwork from Francis. I mean, he knows that Stipe is coming in. He circles a little bit towards his left as he throws that long left hook. That's a whole lot better than some of the fighting that we saw him do, especially with his hands, only a few years ago. So great progress from Francis. That hook lands with devastating power. And fortunately for Stipe, you know, he goes down. I mean, the guy's out. He's pretty much out. The fight's over. And then that huge hammer fist. I mean, Jesus Christ. Look at that. I mean, imagine that you're sitting in a crowd and you see that fist come high and then go all the way down from a huge guy like Francis Ngannou. That is a devastating blow. So that's it, guys. Great fight. Don't know what Stipe is going to do. I mean, this is a pretty bad knockout that he took. Took a lot of damage, some hard shots. Hope he recovers well. And we'll see what Francis does. There's a lot of talk about John Jones. John Jones, as usual. A lot of talk online, then deleted his social media comments. We'll see if that happens. I'd love to see it. I really would like to see if the technical expertise of John Jones transfers to heavyweight and if he can withstand the power of a guy like Francis Ngannou. Right, guys, as always, I want you to give a good hammer fist on the like button and throw a long left hook on the subscribe button as well, and then share it with everybody you know who might enjoy this video. As always, there's some more on the Patreon and the links in the show notes. And I'm going to do a breakdown of the fight over on Patreon, the whole fight here of Stipe versus Francis 2. And that's going to be a lot of fun as well. Right, guys, take care. Talk to you next time and keep on training.